Celtics are in Milwaukee looking to steal at least one of these games this weekend. They tip off tonight at 9:30. I'm joined by Sapochetti, who's here to talk everything Celtics, everything basketball. So, Sap, what do you think? What are the odds? Not exactly betting odds, but what are the chances that the Celtics can steal a game on the road?
I think it's a very good possibility, Megan. If they can play like they did in the first two games at TD Garden, they should be able to get at least one game in Milwaukee, come back here, wrap things up on Tuesday night, move on to the second round. Milwaukee should play better. They're going to have to play better. It's been Giannis and everyone else chipping in. Chris Middleton has also had a nice series, but Rozier-Bledsoe has been a disaster. Malcolm Brogdon, who was the Rookie of the Year a year ago, hasn't played that much. I think you're going to see more of him. But Milwaukee, they use 11, 12 players, which you really don't need in the postseason. And the Celtics, if they continue to have that defensive intensity and that balanced scoring they had in the first two games, they'll be able to get one game in Milwaukee.
Balanced scoring, but Jaylen Brown obviously had a really big game. Tuesday, 30 points, matching Giannis in that game. Are the Celtics going to need a player to step up like that in each of these games to really make the difference, or can they find that scoring from a combination of Tatum, who really didn't produce very much on the offensive end in that game, and Rozier and some of these other players?
They really only have 5 scorers, right? Because of the injuries to Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, even Marcus Smart. Daniel Theis is out for the postseason. So they only have 5 people they can really count on to score. And in game 1, they got all 5 of them to give you 19 or more points. That's tremendous balance. It was a little bit different in game 2, like you said. Brown had 30, Tatum only had 11. So there was that kind of dichotomy.
Tatum didn't score until the second half.
No, he didn't. He wasn't as aggressive as he can be. I wish if you took those 2 players and made them one, you'd have Kawhi Leonard. Because they do everything.
Or Anthony Davis.
Or Anthony Davis. So don't trade them both for one of them, because you got 2 of them and much more cost control. But yeah, you'd rather see 5 players in the 18 to 22 range, because to count on a player like Jaylen Brown, who just continues to get better, but to put 30 points up, especially on the road, that's a big difference. It might be a bit far-fetched, but Horford's played well.
On that defensive end, Al Horford has been an inspiration in this series so far. He's been so great. Is he the key to containing Giannis?
Absolutely, because Giannis is a guy he's going to put 30 on the board. I mean, he's impossible to stop, especially in transition. That's the key. If you keep him in the half-court set, he's not a great outside shooter. You pack the lane,
Fans
force him.
Fans are now chanting "shoot it" every time that he's more than 15 feet away from the basket.
Exactly. That's why he and Ben Simmons, at some point are going to be 2 of the very best players in the league. They're going to have to learn how to shoot outside of 8, 10 feet. So if you can contain him in the half court, he's still going to get his points. He goes to the line a lot. He's one of the best players in the world. But if Horford makes him work for that, and then if they get him to miss and then they're in position to rebound, then the Celtics get control, and then they can get into their fast break if they want to, or just go into the half court set where they're, I think, a better team than the Milwaukee Bucks. The key is not turning the ball over, force Milwaukee in the half court, because they're not a good 3-point shooting team, and you're putting a lot of pressure on Giannis. The key is turnovers. If Milwaukee gets up 10, 12 points, the crowd's into it, then the game could somewhat get out of hand.
We need to touch on all of this stuff between Terry Rozier and Rozier-Bledsoe, or as he called him, Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe, sure, why not? Rozier-Bledsoe wishes he was as productive as Drew Bledsoe.
Now, Terry Rozier did say that he made a huge mistake calling him Drew Bledsoe, not Rozier-Bledsoe.
I think he intended it. This is why the sport is growing. People just are fascinating by the personalities. You don't see this in the NFL. You don't see it in baseball. Little hockey, you get those little scrums. But basketball, you have the personalities. If that's the case, so be it. The key is Rozier sometimes gets so amped up that he loses control of himself. But the amazing stat about Terry Rozier in these first 2 games, no turnovers.
Yeah.
That's been great. If he continues to play at that level, the Celtics are going to be fine.
And everyone will know who he is.
Yes, I know you're a big fan. Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. All right, so Celtics again tip off at 9:30 tonight in Milwaukee. Sap, thanks for joining me.
Anytime.